And as the November election gets closer and as local and national politics heat up, the pressure is also mounting for the respective political party chairs. In Oasis County, the Democrats are led by local attorney Coretta Graham, who we heard from last night at this time. And tonight, it's the Republican chair, former Sheriff Jim Kaelin. Our Joe Gazin talks with him via Zoom one-on-one.
Well, Jim Kaelin, you went from retirement to feet fully in the fire, it seems like. I'm just curious why you did that, why you chose to do that.
Well, actually, I'm still in retirement. I have assumed a job that doesn't pay anything. So that's, just like doing things any place else that you just find passions, whether, it's a hobby or anything else. But this time I kind of immersed myself in probably a little deeper in the political arena than I've ever been in my life. But back to that answer, I'm still retired, but yet I was asked. I had a little entourage come to the house and asked me if I would put my name on the ballot in the primary and run for Republican County Chair.
Well, as Republican Party Chair now, what role do you see yourself playing in the election process coming up?
Well, the role is actually to get our candidates elected in the upcoming November election. The one thing all of us believe in is good government, and this just helps me be more involved in helping produce good government.
Now, I'm going to get into the controversy here because you know it would come, and this is an old Texas expression, but you kind of got your tail in a crack earlier this year when you reposted on Facebook, on your account, a conspiracy theory that was later proven to be false, that the George Floyd murder was staged to have President Trump look bad. That turned out to be false. You reposted it. The Governor Abbott, then called for your resignation. There was a huge furor. So let me ask you, first of all, do you regret doing that? Do you regret reposting that?
No, sir. No, I don't. There's so many things that come through Facebook without deep scrutiny get passed through to others. And since this came from a very credible source, an investigator that had sent it to me that I knew personally, I read through it, and it raised certain questions. It raised questions, not the conspiracy theory, but it raised questions of different things that investigators would be looking into. So no, I don't have any regrets.
Sheriff, do you really think that this was staged?
No, I said I did. It doesn't have anything to do with whether I subscribe or don't subscribe.
I get that. I understand that. But I'm just asking you right now whether you believe it was true.
No, I don't. No, it wasn't a conspiracy. Absolutely not. But there are investigative things.
You believe that event, that horrible event, that murder in Minneapolis was staged?
No, I told you no. But here's the thing. I've spent 50 years in law enforcement. And what we want to do is, again, rush to judgment. Let's let this thing play out. Let's find out what's true, what's not true.
Sheriff, the governor, right after that happened, called for your resignation. And it was because of the outrage, not only in Nueces County, but beyond. And you know this. You chose not to resign. Have you had any further contact with the governor since then?
I've never had any contact with him, period. None. He's never called me. Nobody from his office has ever called me.
Why do you think he was calling for your resignation at that point?
Pure politics, because there was a very contested party chair race out of San Antonio, and it started out calling for the party chair of San Antonio's resignation. She also forwarded this letter, but she made some very, very disparaging comments concerning this letter and the murder of George Floyd. And I fell into that pool.
Your counterpart, the Democratic chairman, Coretta Graham, told me that the Republican Party simply does not exist as she knows it. She described the Republican Party now, Coretta Graham did, and many other people have as well, as a cult, with the cult leader being Donald Trump. Your response?
That's ridiculous. That is absolutely ridiculous.
Well, don't you think it's changed dramatically since the days of Ronald Reagan and George H.W. Bush and W. Bush, for that matter?
We've evolved. You know who our state party chairman is? Lieutenant Colonel Allen West. He's a black man. Lieutenant Colonel Allen West is the chairman of the Republican Party of Texas. Joe, that's change.
Well, Sheriff Jim Kaelin, I appreciate you taking the time.
Joe, thank you. It's always good to visit with you.